Well, hello everybody. I was waiting to see the 1, 2, or the 3, 2, 1 to count down to see to go live. But now I look down at the bottom and I see that we are already live, and I was just sitting here waiting. Anyway, hi everybody. This is Ginny, and I am in Glenmont, New York. I don't know whether you can see through my indoor garden now, but outside it's all white and it's beautiful. It's very, very cold. So if you're up in this region, which is New York State, I hope you're bundled up. But it's going to be even colder on Friday. We're supposed to go down to below zero at night, about 4 below. So I'd like you to just, if you're watching, just send me a little note and tell me what it's like where you are, how much snow you got. We got about 4 inches up north of us, but my sisters, they got about 8. But they might have even been more in other places over across the river from where we live. A person whom I was supposed to be meeting with and helping today had to cancel because she's plowing because it was still snowing as of midnight last night. Anyway, so I'd love to know what it's like where you are. But let me just say, I'm going to try to just go live once a week. Um, I am old enough to be your grandmother or your great grandmother. So, over the years, I've acquired a great deal of experience and a great deal of wisdom. Not to say that I know it all, I certainly don't, and I'm still learning. And my motto is if you stop learning, you might as well be dead. So, I don't want that to happen. Anyway, so yeah, I've got a little bit of wisdom to share, and I think I would just try to do this every Wednesday, and I would just do a little bit of Ginny's wisdom. So, if you're patient, if you like learning, let me know. If it's too boring, let me know and I will just stop. Okay? But along the way, I used to think that we were, because I worked in the field of education and as a not for profit organization where I was the CEO. My husband was a guidance counselor, and we planned ahead. We worked with really, really good people. We invested. We had long term care policy. We have long term care policy. We have insurance. We have my husband's retirement plan. We invested in some annuities. But I have to tell you that in our 80s, our late 80s, and we have a plan to live out our lives in place, and it's economical if the cost of living doesn't continue to go up. But that's not the case. The cost of food is going up, the cost of everything is going up. So put a 1 in the chat if you're experiencing some stress just from looking at your bills and trying to figure out where the income is going to come from to match those bills. Because we all know that if you can't pay off your bills, you end up paying high interest rates. That's a no no. So, what we learned about 13 years ago was the importance of a side hustle. So I'm looking for anybody that either has a side hustle, I'd like to know what that side hustle is, or is interested in having a side hustle, just so you have a, a new stream of income that comes in to help pay those bills. We've found that as you decide to live your life in age and place, um, that it works. But what you have to do, I'm going to turn my phone off so it doesn't ring, okay? That what you also need to do is you need to have the resources to hire people to do those things that you're physically no longer able to do. So that's exactly what we've done. But it sure has helped to have a side hustle to be able to pay for those things. And as you all know, we rescued a little girl, a little dog, a little Cocker Spaniel about 2.5 years ago. And she was a very sick little girl. And yes, she could be a very costly little girl. We were warned about that. But we also decided that we were going to prevent as much illness with her as we could. So we've invested in her. So, whatever your decisions are, whatever you want to do in your life so that you can lead your life as an active, happy life with the resources to do what you need to do. So, about 13 years ago, our friends came to us with a health product, which they knew we needed. We knew our son needed, and we've already shared those stories last week. So, I hope you enjoyed them and got something out of them. The other piece of wisdom that they passed on to us was at some point in our lives, we were going to want the income of a different side hustle. We were going to want to have the income that could live well beyond our lives, so that in my earlier life, I worked for what's called linear income. I got paid for the time that I worked. When I didn't work, I didn't get paid for it, which is the way it should be. There's another kind of work which raises residual income, and there's many ways of residual income, but our way that was shared to us was knowing that there was a series of products that could help people live their lives longer and healthier, and as I said, be healthy, but it also could increase their income through this side hustle. So, by sharing stories, by helping other people to be well, I've been able to create an additional side hustle, which gives us the money to pay our bills. It gives us money to do those things that we couldn't normally have done with our, well, we thought planned retirement income, Social Security income. So, my advice to all of you is think seriously about when you're in your 80s and 90s, where you're going to live, what kind of support you're going to need, and what fun money you're going to want to have so you're not just stuck. Um, are some really neat Zooms.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
There's some this Siri go by. There's neat Zooms that are coming up that are going to share some of these stories. So if you'd like to learn something more about this, would you just put a one in the chat and I'll send you a link to one or two of the Zooms that I think you might appreciate. So that's my piece of Ginny's Wednesday wisdom. Um, Plan ahead, have a side hustle. Don't ever count on one or two income streams. Just make sure that you're well prepared for those years when you are going to want to still have fun in your life. Okay? Hope this helps. Let me know. All right? Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.